Good morning, Stephen. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. Last week, I'm assuming we talked about informed consent. This week, I kind of just want to get to know you a little better.
All right.
Um, for starters, what brings you to counseling?
Well, I've been an issue has kept coming up. If we're talking specifically, I've found myself lately becoming angrier quicker when driving on the road, and I'm concerned not necessarily for myself in the anger itself, but for my safety. The world's kind of changed a little bit, and everybody is very on edge. And week after week, I keep reading articles or stories about people, getting angry on the road or in passing, and then someone just shooting them or going after them. And I can feel myself get angry quickly when someone cuts me off in traffic or impedes in my lane, and I want to kind of figure out how where that comes from and why I'm getting so angry so quick, and kind of figure out how to stop that from happening. I just don't want to let that quick anger become, a gesture, gesticulation of some sort, and then now I'm in a problem with someone who's trying to maybe respond in a physical manner.
Okay, so you're concerned about becoming angry, where it becomes a problem, but you're also a little afraid of other people getting angry and causing a problem or retaliating.
Yes, that is absolutely
Okay.
correct. Yes.
And what does your anger look like?
It's a quick one, and oddly specific to the driving. I don't really get that angry that quick for anything else. And I think it's more of I feel that it's reactionary in the sense that like I'm angry, you are potentially causing me danger, cutting me off, brake checking or going, too slow, trying to turn in on my lane, not paying attention, people kind of encroaching on my world, putting me at risk or the people I'm driving at risk. Um,
Okay.
that's where that anger comes from.
You get angry when you feel like other people are being inconsiderate or
Yes.
putting you in
Yes,
danger. Okay.
absolutely.
How do you think that I'll be able to help you?
I'm hoping that uh, I'm hoping that maybe if I understand why I'm getting so angry so quickly in that situation specifically, then I can stop that from happening, or at least learn ways to control or mitigate that from taking place. I kind of want to get at the root. Anger is an expression, right? So I'm hoping that I can find something underneath it as to why it's happening. That's why I wanted to come in and go through counseling.
Okay, so you think that I'll be able to help you cope with your anger or find ways to maybe not get as angry?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a little bit about your background.
Sure.
Have you ever been to counseling for this or for anything else?
I went to counseling for this once in my youth. I was in a workplace and I felt that one of the employees wasn't understanding what was being asked of them, and it was a big source of frustration. And I became worried about that source of frustration. So I talked to um, my HR, and they got me connected with a counselor. And I did several sessions with them trying to figure out what the root was. And it ended up being my family and my background in that particular case. There's a lot of stressors happening at the time, and it's just I wasn't getting him out. It was coming out at work, dealing with the coworker who wasn't understanding what they were doing. It was coming out in a negative way. But yes, I went to counseling for a couple sessions. Yeah.
And do any of those stressors still apply today?
No, none of those stressors are currently a part of my world. I worked hard to correct that and to mitigate all of them. So the fact that the anger is showing up again in a different way means that there's something there, but it's not what was before.
All right. Um, are you diagnosed with any mental health disorders?
No.
No. Okay. Is there anything besides anger and being sort of afraid for your safety that comes along when you're driving?
Um, Maybe it's, being afraid of the safety of the people with me. I think that's more so than my own safety. I think that's kind of the um, people making their problems my problems is there's a frustration there. Um, but I think it primarily revolves around that.
Right. How have you been sleeping?
I sleep pretty regular. I normally go to bed. I normally get about 7 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep. I have a set early wake up time, so I'm always getting up at the same time every day. Um, so it's regular, even if it always could be longer, but it is
Yeah.
regular.
Um, do you drink or smoke?
I drink on occasion, but it's rare. I don't smoke. I used to. I was a smoker for a long time, but I gave that up years ago.
Okay. Have you ever been abused in any way or had any traumatic experiences? You don't have to go into detail today.
Okay, well, thank you. Sure. I was a child of an alcoholic, so that without going into to detail, that's very much a part of how I was raised. Um, and I think that would be the primary source of any trauma that I had.
Okay. And then were they angry a lot?
No, no, yes, no, yes. Uh, that was constant. My house was constantly a house of yelling. Um, and my mother, and then of course anybody dealing with her, it was very confrontational, always. My childhood was um, traumatic in that sense. I think that's why I'm so aware of when that like anger comes up in me, and that's kind of like why I try to stop it because I don't want to be that person as
Yeah,
well.
no, I get that. You don't want to be angry and cause harm to other people.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Um, do you have a family? Any kids, a spouse?
Yes, I'm married, and I have a stepson who I love dearly. Um, and we've been married now going 7 years, going on 8.
Okay. And is there any tension there that could cause
No,
anger or no?
my life at home is wonderful.
It's
My
great.
wife and I are very communicative with each other, and we're constantly trying to solve our problems and the world's problems together.
Oh,
Um,
perfect.
and yeah, if anything in my life is going well, it is my family, my immediate family at home.
Okay, so your anger just is mostly just stemmed with driving, like when you get afraid mostly.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And you said there were no other symptoms besides the anger and a little fear?
Yeah, I think that's the best way. Maybe there's frustration, if I were to use another word,
Okay.
frustrating, um, and then um, okay, I hold on to it. So there's the initial moment, and then I hold on to that anger for a period of time, even though the situation's passed. I kind of replay it, and it keeps me mad, you know. Um,
Okay. So
so
it's not just a one-time anger burst. It's kind of just spreads out through your day.
yeah, yeah, but and it doesn't come out in any other way. But I carry it with me, like as if it's like unresolved. I couldn't resolve it at the time.
So you just hold on to it like internally.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever gotten in trouble before from your anger? Any legal actions or anything with
No,
work?
I can't, no, but not with work, not the first time. I saw it happening and decided to figure out what was wrong before it became anything. I don't think I've ever been in trouble for anger before. Certainly not that I can recollect.
Okay. Um, who raised you? Both parents, grandparents, one parent?
That's a fantastic question. My mother was primarily the one who raised me, the one who controlled my childhood. My father was there, but in his dealings with my mother, he was absent in my life, if that makes sense. Um, and my grandparents were involved on my mother's side for pretty much the course of my life. But if I were to say who was the person who was raising me, it'd be my mother.
Okay, so it was mainly your mother, and then your father and your maternal grandparents were sometimes involved.
Yes.
Okay. Um, how would you describe your current relationship with your family?
With
Yeah.
my family of origin,
Yeah, like your parents and your grandparents.
there is none because of the alcoholism and whole series of family problems. Um, there was a point where reconciliation was attempted, or kind of opened up to see where everything was. And then that was over very quickly. Since then, I have been distanced. We have no communication whatsoever.
Okay, that makes sense. I do have one last question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any coping skills that you use now that help even a little bit?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. No. I I get I think about stuff a lot. I'm very cognitive in my head. So it kind of when those situations happen, I'm kind of stuck in a loop of playing them over and over again and keeping that feeling carrying with me. And I don't really have a way that I've learned to deal with that. Time has really been the only thing. Once it's a certain amount of time after, then it finally dissipates. But other than that, I don't have a mechanism to work through it.
Okay. Well then the next time that we talk, we'll dive more into it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much for listening and appreciate it.
Okay. Any feedback?
Can y'all hear me? I've been having a little internet troubles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I thought it was good. I think my one piece of construction feedback is Tess, I don't know if this is just like how you always sound, but like you sound a little monotone and like
I
a
do have the
little like,
flu.
oh, you do have, okay, then perfect. Then it's fine. I was like, it was a good
I'm
conversation,
having
but it was
a
just
like
like,
a hard time breathing, so
oh, okay. So then it was perfect score for me, 10 out of 10.
okay.
Yeah, I did. I thought you did good, like active listening, and you like had eye contact. I think you did well with that. There was one point where I think you cut him off just a little bit, so maybe just like letting them finish and then asking your question. But other than that, I thought you did great. So good job.
Thank you.